All right, true story. I didn't know what the hell Arc Raiders even was until like 4 or 5 days before the free weekend took place. I made a new X account to promote my Hunt Showdown clips and make awesome new connections. And all I got bombarded with in my feed when I made that new account was nothing but Arc Raiders. Posts, news, hype, all this shit. So, one of the big content creators I follow, Psycho Ghost, he mainly makes content for Hunt Showdown. He had a bunch of videos, a lot of solo content, and is that spider moving in the background? I can't even tell. He has a bunch of solo content and also some team fights. I watched all those, immediately was hooked. I'm like, this game looks pretty cool, very interesting. So I decided to test it out. I played about 13 hours in the playtest. Did about 60-70% solo runs, 30% team fights.
Oh, cute.
So addictive. So amazing. Got the deluxe version immediately. And I am fucking hyped for the release on the 30th of October. And this video is going to be a first impressions video of what I think about the game. The good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? So, to start off with, the fucking tutorial, insane. I don't think I've enjoyed a tutorial for a game like this. Or, not for a game like this, but like, I don't think I've enjoyed a game's tutorial this much in a very, very long time. Very simple, very easy, but has a cool little cutscene, which you're about to see here in a second. And it just kind of shows you the ropes, gives you everything that you need to know. Got a little cool little rubber ducky there. And it's very nice. I like the sliding. I like the rolling, the movement, the camera angle. I don't play a lot of third-person games, but the third person actually wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty nice. The robots, very, very cool. I know that's been a big complaint for a lot of people, is how hard the AI is. A couple things with that. I personally think they're awesome. But keep in mind that for the playtest, we're all going in with white basic gear. Like just plain fucking gear. And if all the AI were just super easy to beat right off the bat with white gear, like what would be even the fucking point of having it, you know? In such an open world area where we can transverse so easily. So if you look at a game like Hunt Showdown, has a bunch of AI. They're relatively easy to take down. Some a little bit harder than others. But, you know, for the most part, the basics standard AI, immolators, hives, grunts, armoreds, they're really easy. It takes like 3 hits, depending, you know, if you got the right tool, like 3 hits, 2 to 3 hits. And a lot of them just 1 hit, right? The grunts are 1 hit, the armored 2-3 hits, immolator 2-3 hits, depending on what you're using. And it feels pretty good. But you gotta understand, you're not really having to, like, you can't use a lot of agility in that game. Like, yes, you can jump, but you can't really vault up large areas. You can vault, like, fences and shit, but you can't, like, climb and transverse like you can in this game. So this game has a lot more mobility, a lot more open spaces, a lot more verticality, which you don't really get in a game like Hunt Showdown. And you can move a lot faster. You can sprint faster, so very, very agile, a lot of movement. Once you get down the robots, the AI, the arcs, different combat styles like the wasps, and maybe I might do a little guide video on how to take down each of them, but like the wasps just shooting like an electromagnetic, I think it also might do health damage as well, pretty sure. But it also burns through your shields. The Hornet having that machine gun, Rocketeer obviously using rockets. Then you start to understand how to combat them. You start to understand their weak points, the rotors, how to avoid them, how to escape. So I don't think AI is a big problem. I don't think the arc is a big problem. I think it's totally fine where it's at. It makes for really interesting fights when, you know, you're taking on another player, or like, you know, squad versus squad, and that gunfire is bringing in more AI to investigate because they're drawn towards the sounds. And also, the whole fucking point of the game, the atmosphere, is the fucking robots have taken over and we're going up topside to try to loot, scavenge materials, and get the fuck out. We're not the top of the food chain here. That's another thing we got to keep in mind. For immersion purposes, okay, this shit's supposed to feel like Skynet, right? The Terminators have won. They've taken over. We are just like the cockroachy little fucking human beings trying to get supplies and bring it back down underground so we can try to strike back, you know, as we gain our power. So that's another kind of element of this. Like, once you understand how to fight Ark, for the most part, they're not going to be a trouble. You can quickly dispatch one, sometimes even two, pretty quickly. Even with, you know, white, gray weapons, relatively quickly. If not, you can always just run. There's plenty of open spaces. You can kite them a little bit. You can get behind stuff. There's plenty of places to hide. They can't really get low enough to follow you into small buildings and shit. So there's tons of ways to avoid getting killed. So for the most part, people are dying. It's a skill issue. It's not being practiced. I watched some of Asmongold play Ark. I watched Dr. Disrespect play some Ark. And the fucking robots are just destroying these people. Okay? It is a skill issue. Once you understand how they work, you get used to them. You just don't take fights. You play it smart, or you just put shit between you and the robots, and you learn to adapt to how they operate. I like them. I like the small robots, the ones that roll on the ground, the two types of those, all the flying robots. Like, it feels like a really great challenge. It provides a awesome third-party element when you're fighting other teams, as I said before, when they come investigate, and you have to either band together to fight off the robots, and that might, you know, unite you guys and stop PvP altogether, or you have to deal with it or move and like adapt to the firefight because you're getting third-party basically by Ark. That's cool. I also like the fact that, especially if you're doing something like a free run where you don't have a lot of meds, it provides this really intense atmosphere where just escaping with your life feels like an accomplishment, and it makes solo runs especially, and again, that's primarily what I did, like 70% of the time, it made it very rewarding to get out with the loot. Like, yeah, taking PvP fights, getting wins, obviously that's awesome. Escaping from PvP if you're like down on ammo or meds or something like that feels great. But the background tension of just having all these robots around you all the time, like, it's such a cool experience, and something that I have not really experienced in any other game. Like, something like Marauders didn't really have that. The Cycle Frontier, the AI was more fucking annoying, and they also didn't really fly. Everything was just on the ground, which is, it kind of gets repetitive, kind of gets really annoying. That's a big fan. Customization, since we're here in the menu, that could use a lot more facial features, a lot more colors. I don't know if this is just a sample, a little preview of what we're going to get at full launch. Obviously, this isn't like the most... God, this combination is insane here. The appearance of customization isn't like the most important thing, right? Obviously, making sure the gameplay loop is fun and awesome, that's the most important thing. However, that being said, I would love more customization. And I would also love them divided into male and female, just so it's easier for me to pick from. The facial styles, look, not a lot there. The body types, obviously that being 2 is fine. So there needs to be more hairstyles. There needs to be a clear division of like male, female, so I can just easily fucking sort through them. Outfits could use a lot more. These are kind of cool. A lot of the cosmetics for like the backpacks, I remember just being, you know, one of them was cool. It was like the radio backpack was like the coolest one. The other ones were just kind of copy-paste versions of each other. So a lot more customization would be nice. Colors, headsets, minor things. Because it is third person. It's not like first person where something like, you know, the Skyrim or Oblivion Remastered where I just don't see the point in just putting all this fucking time and energy into, you know, picking your guys' fucking face when like 90% of the time you're not even looking at the fucking face, you know? That makes no sense to me. But in a game like this, where it's third person, you're constantly using the camera to move around, and you're seeing your character a lot of the time, especially from the back portion. So I think customization is more important in a game like this. Graphics are great. I'm using a potato, pretty lower mid. Probably a low end in today's standards. It was more of a mid-tier laptop when I got it 4 or 5 years ago. So that is something that you got to keep in mind when you look at the graphics of all the footage that I'm going to be showcasing here in this video. The guns, I didn't get to test any of the higher ranking guns. I think I only made it to like green. I got a hold of green shotgun for like a round, and then I stored it. Didn't really use much of it, so I primarily just used the basic shit. The Rattler, the Kettle gun, the Stitcher, the Pharaoh. What else we got?
Up top side, clean hands.
I think that's it. Might be forgetting something.
Don't seem to mind.
They're all pretty good. The Rattler, I fucking hated the most, I think. Did not have enough of a clip size. Damage seemed okay. But I just hate the fact that you have to reload 2 at a time. It's so slow. And the fact that if you had a larger clip size and you reloaded 2 shots at a time, okay, that's good. But like the fact that you have a low-ass clip, it's like 10 rounds, I think, which is insane. And you reload 2 bullets at a time, it's just like, it feels like a double nerf. It's not fun. The Stitcher, probably the best. It's like a submachine gun. You reload an entire clip. The Kettle gun, one of the most annoying to use. Semi-automatic, very long reload. Not a big fan. The Pharaoh is pretty good. Having more scopes, some red dots would be nice for the attachments. The attachments themselves are pretty good. Big fan of that. I love the quests. That seemed fun. What else we got here? The PvP was good. So, along the lines of the guns, I say that because power creep is still something that is one thing that really detracts me from games like this, looter shooters. Because if the higher tier, like heavy shields, which I think are red, because we got to experiment with the light shields and the medium shields, I believe, which are blue. Blue might be heavy. I might be getting that wrong. But the higher tier guns, the higher tier shields, I didn't get to test that, so I don't know if it's going to be a huge discrepancy where they just do so much fucking damage. They're one-shotting people in white gear. That's something that I definitely want to see not happen. That's super annoying. The gameplay loop being focused on getting supplies, leveling up your guy, and yes, crafting higher tier shit, but not having that stuff give you such of an overpowering edge where you're just easily wiping out people who are less geared than you. I've really addressed this in all my videos. I think it's something that's super important in what ends up killing games. Just take the Cycle Frontier, Dark and Darker, Star Siege Dead Zone. Like a lot of these things, the reason why they die is that the fucking power creep. It's just like nobody wants to, like the casual gamer doesn't want to put in all this fucking time questing and grinding to get this elite shit. Like they're not going to do that. They want to load in with their friends and fight. And if they're going up against people that have all this crazy gear that are just like one-shotting them or easily melting them, you're just going to drive them away. So yeah, you get to keep your hardcore player base, but there's already so many games out there that have the player base that it's just such high competition. Like you're just not going to keep the odds of you keeping the player base is low. And then you combine that with the fact that you're losing a lot of players to power creep. It's just not good for the game. Whereas instead, if you build the gameplay loop around, yes, you can craft these better shields, maybe different augments, different guns, and they're giving you a little bit of an edge. They're a little bit better. Maybe they do some cool effects, have some cool bonuses. I remember one of them, I was watching a video, I forget the creator's name, but he found a blueprint to a experimental, it was like a epic purple or violet, whatever. Not purple, sorry, violet, magenta blueprint for an experimental like rifle that can shoot through walls, basically. That's kind of cool. That's a nice little bonus ability to add to a weapon where it's like, okay, you don't just melt people, but it has an extra thing to it that makes it, exciting, fun to use. enjoyable. It gives you a little bit of an edge. So I haven't tested that. I'm hoping with optimism that as I get to play around with those weapons and also get killed by people with those weapons, it doesn't feel too harsh. Because then what that tells me is if they get that right, then it becomes focused on just having fun. Right? Yes, these things give you some edges. Yes, there are some better guns, but they're not so much better that you just can't compete. As long as that doesn't happen and take place, then I think this game is going to do very, very well. And it will keep somebody like me who is not, I'm not the best fucking player in the world. I'm not Hornet, I'm not Shroud, I'm not like, that my PvP skills are not there. I'm probably a little bit above average just because I played a lot and have a lot of hours. I got like 4,000 hours in Hunt Showdown. But I'm definitely by no means like a super skilled player. So there's plenty of people better than me. So for someone like me, the gameplay loop is like the most important thing, right? So if that is done right, then you're going to keep all those people. They're going to buy the battle passes, the cosmetics. They're going to invest money into your shit. And I also think it's just a much better experience for the game itself, for the longevity, just for the fun in general. Like, yes, it kind of feels good to have all this epic gear and you're just wiping the floor with people. But it's the same kind of like cheap satisfaction you get as like a fucking high school bully. Like I'm more powerful than you, you're weaker than me, there's nothing you can do. I feel superior in owning over you. And just the type of player that mindset attracts to the game, it's just gross, just super toxic. Another example of this is I was watching that same creator that had the blueprint that he found by doing a harvester run. He got down to extract, but they were extracting. Like he already did typed in the computer. There's 2 seconds. It was him and another guy, and this third guy who ended up killing them as the elevators are kind of going up. He knocks out the first guy and walks over to him and goes to knock him out. He can't loot these guys. Like there's no time to loot the guys. He was only doing that specifically so that they wouldn't get their loot and extract. And it's just like, ew, like just fucking really scummy behavior. So I think this kind of this power creeping shit also attracts a really gross type of player. Very toxic, very small, weak-minded, very insecure, very petty, like very much of a bully kind of mentality. And for a game like Hunt Showdown, again, I'm going to reference, there are better guns. There are more expensive guns. There's guns that are like $36, like a Springfield compact, I think. And there's guns that are like a drilling, right, which is like $520. Or a Mosin Labelle, which is like, I don't know, maybe another 500, 600, something like that. That might be the sniper version. But like if I'm fighting against somebody with that, I'm not like, oh shit, cool, I gotta run now. Like, cool, I just gotta leave. Like nothing I can do here, And it also doesn't feel like, fuck, I have to exert so much effort to try to overcome this crazy fucking weapon that this person had. Like, I never feel that way. I know exactly how to fight. If they have a shotgun, cool. Maintain a little bit of a distance. If they have a sniper, cool. Try to get close, keep cover between you. Maybe you leave in the term, case of a sniper, depending on like where you're at. Maybe he has you pinned down in a really unfavorable position. Most of the weapons are single shot, right? That's a little bit different of a balance in a game like this. I think the third person helps with the aiming and stuff like that, actually, compared to first person, which is it's another plus for people who are more casual. But I just bring up the Hunt Showdown thing because it feels really good in that game. It has nothing to do with gear. Granted, it's not a looter shooter, for sure. It is an extraction shooter. But the emphasis is on the gameplay loop and the combat. So I think if on the release, do some more testing, feel out the guns, the equipment, the augments, my hope and intention is that they do a great job on having it give a little bit of a bonus buff, but nothing too crazy where, it just feels totally unfair and it's like just a major detractor to the average casual gamer. That's what I don't want to happen. So that's my concern. My biggest concern is that Ark is great, the loot's great, the maps are the single map is fucking awesome. Even though I played it nonstop during the playtest or the free weekend, I didn't get bored of it. I wasn't like, oh, this fucking thing again. Like I was, and that might be because it's new, obviously, I didn't get to play the tech test. I didn't even know this fucking game existed up until, again, like 2 weeks ago. So the map, all the sections are cool. I like the ability to scale things, to climb. That's awesome. Loot's great. There's a lot of variety. Actually, would even love more variety of Ark. If they were to add a different archetypal, pun intended, different archetype, maybe once every 3 months or something, with like different updates and shit, that would be awesome. Love to see more aerial, ground-based, maybe even like Terminator style, like humanoid-esque type of mobs. That would be really cool. Even playing low, while we're here real quick, in the settings, even playing with all low, the game's still, like, yeah, like, there's stuff that's not really rendered that well, but, like, I didn't really care. The game still looked really pretty on the lowest fucking settings. So that was great. Enemies are great, robots are great, loot's great, map's fucking awesome. I like the difficulty. It didn't feel so hard, like Dark and Darker mobs, where it's just, like, everything takes 500 fucking hits to kill. Like, I hate that so much. I like that the different arcs, smoke, catch on fire, explode. The aerial ones will like fall to the ground when you shoot off different rotors, try to stabilize. Like, all that's awesome. I think the only one that kind of looked a little silly was maybe the Leaper. That one was a little ridiculous at times, although I do enjoy it quite a bit. What else? The healing is really good. Dark and Darker Cycle Frontier. To an extent, I guess, Star Siege Dead Zone. Like, the healing in those games just so slow. And I get there's a balancing that needs to happen to reward people that get damage on you. But those games are just, like, in my opinion, too hardcore. Like, it's just super annoying. You know, I'll take Dark and Darker. Like, the bandage in that game, it rewards, or it heals basically fucking nothing. And in this game, it heals, like, the amount it heals feels really good, just for basic fucking bandages. It doesn't take that long to apply the bandage. You don't have to sit there and heal, like, you can move around and shit. The shield rechargers are great. I love that you can loot different items. You might not know this, but you can loot different items, like Arc Power Cells, for example. That's a crafting item. But you can also use the item, the Arc Power Cell, to restore some of your shields. That's kind of nice. You can actually repurpose some of the items that you have. Other ones, like the Fireball Burners, yeah, you can take that out to sell, craft, use for quests, whatever. But you can also use it as like a flamethrower, I think, or like a bomb you throw. So I like the dual functionality of different items that the game has. Here's the Rattler, fucking worst goddamn gun in the game right here.
What is that?
Getting me killed because I can't properly fucking reload. So that's great. I'm shocked that there's going to be so many maps upon release. That's insane to me in the best way. I like that there's different times of day and that they have different events happening throughout the different times of day. That's really cool, really well done.
Why can't I,
And let me think if there's anything else here. Oh, the one thing that I do think that they need to fix, like, ASAP, is the third-person peeking. Especially in solos, this is not as prevalent in team fights, just because everybody's typically getting in close to each other. So it's more prevalent in solo queues. But this thing where you can just hide behind a wall where they can't see you and you can just see everything, super stupid. If they were to restrict your line of sight, so when you're behind something, you can only see what's in front of you. So if you're behind something, then it gets blurred out, something like that, or it becomes smoky, kind of like Last of Us. If you ever played that game, I saw some footage of it, and it seemed like either it was a vision mode, or if you're behind stuff, I think it just kind of made this like smoky effect. So something like that, where you can't just sit and like wait at an extract or behind a corridor and just wait for someone to just put the first shot from your rifle onto them, take down their entire fucking shields or more, and then just push them, and there's like nothing they can do.
okay.
Like, if you're in a bush or you're sitting in a corner, that's different. because you have to see the person, and you have to like react accordingly. I think there's just so much of an advantage if you're just behind a wall doing that. So that's the only real thing that I had any sort of complaint with. Again, the concern about the power creep, I've stated that. But the only thing I see really wrong with the game is just that third-person peeking shit. It's super annoying, especially when you kill somebody and you're trying to loot, and then the other person can just... Like, you don't know if they're there or not, but they know that you're still there. And they're just waiting for you to pop open. I guess that would be the other thing. The other really annoying thing that I would like to see changed is when you're looting, also having the screen be more... Like, have more or less, I guess, opacity, so that you can see shit, like right here, perfect. The menu, it's like blurry in the background. If you could see through that more clearly, or even have it adjustable would even be nicer, so you could see more, that would be awesome. But the more glaring issue is being able to peek behind shit. Like, that's super fucking annoying. And you can't even really push that kind of thing, because they'll either get more shots onto you, or they'll just leave and do the same fucking thing over again, and it's really exhausting. And it also rewards these, like, ratty, little fucking cowardly, ratty fucking players, which is super annoying. If you're gonna rat, you should have to, like, earn that. Like, yeah, you can camp, but be in a bush, be in a corner, get creative, and then that incentivizes you to, like, check those corners. There's nothing really you can do against somebody that's just peeking you. Like, use smokes, you have to close the distance. But they just run away, and they just do it again. And there's only so many smokes you can use, or like grenades. And it's like, do you want to bring all of that? Do you want to invest all that resources on one fucking fight? And it's not even just the one fight. It's like a stage of the fight, right? It's like one area of the fight. Then they retreat and do it again, and then you have to recommit all those. It's just annoying, right? Super annoying. It didn't happen to me as much as it happened to a lot of other people. I watch different streamers, different creators, and it happened like all the time for them. I am a more stealthy player. I like to avoid combat, get the loot, get out. The surviving it and having these like close call engagements in the sense of trying to just get away, get out, extract. That's kind of like my style. The people who are more PvP orientated, looking for fights, they were getting a lot more of that. So that's the only thing that was a glaring red flag that I think would also turn off a lot of casual players from staying with the game. And that's just super frustrating. So if they were to take care of that with just restricting line of sight, easy fix, then I think that this game would be fucking perfect. That being said, I am still going to play a shit ton of this game when it releases and make a bunch of content for it, so you can stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's my first impressions of Arc Raiders. If you haven't tried it out yet, definitely pre-order the different copies, both the deluxe and the standard version. Come with a lot of cool goodies, cosmetics, this and that, and it's pretty good price points as well. So pick up your copy to get some cool bonuses, and I will see you topside October 30th when this shit gets released. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts below in the comment section. What did you like about the game if you play tested it? If you didn't and you're just kind of watching this video and watching videos of Arc Raiders, what are your first impressions of this? What do you like about the game? What do you dislike? What would you like to see them added? What are your concerns? Comment below. I'd love to check that out and see that, read that, and comment back to you guys. Hit the like button on your way out if you enjoyed my feedback here, and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.